What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Technique Tuesday. We got a great one for you today. Now, this is something that needs to happen that we're going to be discussing.
Will it happen is the question. We're hoping so. Fingers crossed, but it's up in the air right now.
I want to see it. I know you guys want to see it, but who's going to win?
And if you guys aren't quite sure what we're talking about, maybe you didn't read the title completely and you just kind of skimmed over it, saw this immaculate thumbnail, clicked on it because, hey, you just love us. Jon Jones versus Francis Ngannou.
What up, everybody? Everybody, what's up, everybody?
Before we get into the breakdown, we want to thank this video's sponsor, Private Internet Access.
Private Internet Access is the world's most transparent VPN provider with over 30 million downloads.
They never record or store user data, and their no logs policy has been proven multiple times in court.
Because it changes your IP address and reroutes your internet traffic through an encrypted tunnel.
Private Internet Access hides your online activity from your internet service provider, network administrator, and government censors.
Private Internet Access is the most customizable VPN on the market, allowing you to make your VPN experience truly your own.
What I love about Private Internet Access is that it works with all major streaming services. So you have unrestricted access to all your favorite content anywhere in the world.
And while helping safeguard your online privacy, their VPN software also blocks ads, trackers, and malicious websites.
You can use one Private Internet Access subscription to protect up to 10 devices at the same time. Most other VPNs support fewer connections, so you get a lot more bang for your buck when you choose Private Internet Access.
Signing up for Private Internet Access is risk-free. There's a 30-day money-back guarantee, plus their highly skilled customer support team of experts is available 24/7. So go click the link in the description below and get complete digital privacy for less than $2 a month and 4 extra months for free. It means only $1.98 a month and 83% off.
Come on, only $2 a month? You'd be ridiculous not to do it. Now let's get into the breakdown.
Woo! All right, guys, so we got one of the hardest hitting mamma jammers on the planet, Francis Ngannou. Tony, you're playing Francis. That means you got to break
Obviously.
You got to break down how you're going to beat moi, who's going to be Jon Jones, longest reach ever in UFC history, and probably one of the best fighters who ever stepped in the octagon.
Whether you agree with his antics outside of the cage or not, the fact of the matter is he is a phenomenal mixed martial artist.
He is.
Now, a person, that's up for debate. But you can't deny the dude has a gift for MMA.
He's pretty confident in what he's saying about going up to heavyweight and facing off against these heavyweight dudes.
He's been doing a lot of talking for a long time. It's to the point to where it's like, man, just get in the cage and fight somebody already. I want to see it.
Yeah, even if it's not Francis, just fight somebody in that heavyweight division. I want to see what you look like standing next to these heavyweights, because these are some bad boys, big dudes. I mean, Francis is what, 6'5"? Gon is like 6'5", and that's their natural weight, man.
They were born that way. They've been living life that way their entire existence.
So I want to see, what kind of size is my man Jon? He looks big in some photos. How big is he really compared to these guys? Sweet Tea, how is Francis Ngannou going to beat Jon Jones when this fight happens?
First things first, right off the bat, Francis Ngannou, we know, always has the KO power. Now, obviously, Jon Jones has never been finished, but he's lived his whole life at 205. You start changing weight classes, different things start happening. So always, I am trying to put Jon Jones to sleep. A lot easier said than done. I got to be able to get through his long reach and land the big haymaker. Land the KO shot. So, how do I do that? 2 ways. First things first, I take my big old tree trunks' legs and I try and snap Jon Jones's legs in half. So I'm using the outside leg kick, setting the foot down outside, always talking about that outside placement, setting up the big power shot for the left hand. Or I'm gonna work the Michael Chandler approach and I'm gonna work just the blitz. 1, 2, boom, right? I'm trying to close the gap to get these big hands on Jon Jones. I want to let him know as soon as possible that it's a different level up here. I want to put it in his head that he ain't competing at that level anymore. He's been out of the game for a while. This is the big dogs, and I'm putting pressure on him ASAP.
Imposing his will, his weight, his skill on John Jones.
Now, side note, obviously from this last fight, Ngannou's been working the wrestling. He is a really strong guy, obviously. He was picking Ngannou up, slamming him like the dude was my size. I mean, I'm big, but like, you know what I mean. So I'm gonna go to that. I'm gonna lay on John Jones. I'm gonna let him feel my weight, let him feel my strength, but I'm gonna do it cautiously because obviously I don't wanna get tired. I don't wanna gas myself out. But if I get into a clinch with John Jones, I'm gonna be as heavy as possible on him. I'm gonna work the strength. I'm gonna get him against the cage, and I'm gonna let him feel all 264 pounds of me, solid muscle, brick, rock. I'm freaking tank that he's got, and I'm gonna get in his head that he came up to the wrong division. Now, with all that being said, I love Francis Ngannou, but everything that I just mentioned is a lot easier said than done.
So you got the blitz, right? You got the leg kick, outside foot placement, landing the heavy hands. And then you got his height, his weight. Let's lay on John Jones a little bit. Let's tire him out. Let's let him know that, hey, I'm bigger than you, buddy. That's what you get for coming up to this heavyweight.
I'm the baddest man on the planet. I'm stronger than anybody you've ever fought. I'm bigger than anybody you've ever fought. And I'm a lot dang better physically chiseled and immaculate than anybody you've ever fought.
So how is John Jones going to defeat Francis Ngannou if this happens? Well, obviously, John Jones is a very intelligent guy. Always had a very high IQ when it comes to the fight game. So I think he knows this. I think he knows he's probably going to try to throw those leg kicks, try and tire me out. So I'm going to be using that front leg teep, keeping my man away, right? I'm going to be using my leg checks and my front teep to keep him away. And obviously, I know this guy likes to blitz, as he saw against Rosenstruck. He blitzed him right off the bat, ends up knocking him out. Now, I'm going to use that blitz to get in close to this guy where I can use my elbows and knees. So once this guy starts to blitz, I'm changing my level. I'm meeting him in the middle. I wouldn't go straight for a clinch there because then it ties my arms up. Now I got to grapple this guy. I don't know if I want to do that because he's such a big guy, but I change my level. I work my way in from here. I got my tie clinch, right? I got my tie clinches here. I can start working my knees. I can start working those crazy elbows, boom, that John Jones is so notorious for. So getting in close where the guy's not that big of a threat, I wouldn't say big of a threat, he's scary everywhere, but I have a better chance not getting KO'd if I'm in tight. Now if I'm out here, this is where he's most scary. So I've got to get inside. So I'm going to use that blitz, boom, to get inside. Now I got my clinches, I got my elbows, and I've got my knees. Now we know that John Jones is a high-level wrestler, right? He's very, very good at the wrestling. That's a great chance for me to get inside as well, to get a hold of a leg. Now, would I recommend going for a double? No, because he's just such a big and strong, powerful guy. But if I can get one leg off the ground, which is a lot easier than to get two, I can start moving this guy around. I can start creating openings, maybe taking his back, things like that. So even if the guy starts to get in close and gets me pinned, that's prime time for me, obviously, to start using my elbows again. John Jones isn't notorious for knocking guys out. I just hate to say it. He submits guys and he just beats them up for 5-minute rounds. So I don't see him knocking Francis out. I see him outpointing him. I see him just outsmarting him in the fight game by closing the gap, right? You keep him at bay using the teep. Either he's really, really far out, use those long legs, or he's very close. Don't stand in striking range with Francis Ngannou.
I think John Jones has a blueprint that was laid out for him by Gane in those first 2 rounds of Gane and Ngannou's fight. Gane did a great job keeping him at bay, working the range, being technical. He went up those first 2 rounds, he looked sharp. But then Ngannou started implementing the wrestling, which threw Gane off. I don't think John Jones is going to fall for that. I think John Jones is going to try to dictate the wrestling and the grappling, or like you said, really work on keeping him at bay with his front kicks and using his length to keep him outside. Now, WB, with all that said, we haven't seen John Jones fight in a while. We haven't seen him fight ever at this new weight. Being John Jones, who he is, what advantages do you think he might have over some of the heavyweights up there?
Well, I would say it would definitely be his ability to wrestle, use his wrestling for striking, use his striking for wrestling. He's able to combine both of those very, very well. We've seen it done in the past against one of the best wrestlers in the division, Daniel Cormier. And Daniel Cormier moved up to heavyweight. You know that he can go up there and do the same thing and hold his own up there with those guys. So his ability to be able to strike and wrestle for his striking is so good. That's what we see him. He's not a knockout artist, but he's able to put those two together, which makes him exciting. And he throws stuff from nowhere, spinning elbows, flying knees. I mean, what has he got up his sleeve now since he's been off for so long? What new thing does he have? And I think that's what holds another, like...
A mysterious mystery.
Yeah, what has he got? What has he been working
What's
on?
he going to be able to
with?
do, right? What's he going to be able to bring? He's talking a big game. He's tweeting left and right about who's your daddy. Now, we know, we're not sure what Ngannou's future holds. Does he stay with the UFC? Does he go somewhere else? But this is a hypothetical situation that we're talking about. It's possible. It could happen in the future. Jon Jones versus Francis Ngannou. So it's definitely a fun fight to play around with, to think about, and like we mentioned earlier, there's that mystery that Jon Jones hasn't fought in so long, and he might come out and look like a totally different person. With all that being said, type in the comments down below who you guys think would win that fight. But, WB, if you had to pick, which you do have to pick.
I do have to pick right now. Now, not saying that Jon Jones doesn't have a chance, because he does. You've seen the improvement Francis has done, not with just his striking, but with his wrestling as well, and that's what Jon Jones is notorious for, right? So I got my man Francis Ngannou winning that fight.
To be honest, I gotta agree with you. It's also hard for me not to pick Ngannou. Number one, just his evolution as a fighter, what he's been through, who he's beaten in the heavyweight division, how he's beaten them. He's just been looking immaculate. Obviously, Jon Jones is always a threat. His IQ is there. I'm not counting him out at all, but I just got to take the hot hand here. I would stick with Francis Ngannou. He's been fighting. He's been active. He's been busy. Jon Jones has been doing God knows what in the gym. So until he gets out there and starts getting active and fights the Derek Lewis's and the Stipe's and the Gans of the world, it's just hard to pick him right now, moving up to a different division. So I would stick with Ngannou as well. He looked great this past weekend. We want to know what you guys think about it. Type in the comments down below. Jon Jones or Francis Ngannou, do you want to see the fight?
I do.
Do you hope they make it happen?
I do.
All that good stuff. WB does, but what do you guys think? Appreciate you guys watching.
Throw some comments down below. Like we just said, hit that subscribe button and turn on all notifications so you know when our next uploads are. Hit that subscribe, guys. I promise you. There's a lot of people watching this thing, but yeah, I haven't hit that subscribe button. It helps the channel out. Thank you, Sweet Tea. Let's go.